A decision that could see some long-term residents of a Christchurch retirement home turfed out is being described as bloody disgusting. Residents of the rest home at Merivale Retirement Village have been told that there aren't enough beds for all of them in a new home that's being built, and some are going to have to move out. The reason? Well, it seems not as many of them as expected have died. Our South Auckland video journalist Logan Church went to the rest home to meet with some of the affected residents, and they're not happy.
76-year-old Jim McCarran has lived in the Merivale Retirement Village for a decade. But last Friday, he and the other residents in the village's rest home received a letter that turned their world upside down.
He came round approximately about 10:30 on Friday and handed each person a personal letter. And in that letter it said that because the new facility doesn't cater for enough beds, there's 102 people for 47 beds. I feel badly let down.
It's believed the move comes as the village looks to open a new rest home building with fewer beds.
They had to go through a process of having interviews with people to decide who was going and who wasn't.
And that leaves residents like Jim, who uses a wheelchair, in a tricky situation. He has until April the 1st, 6 weeks, to find other accommodation. He initially thought it was an early April Fool's joke. And Mr McCarran has an extra complication.
My wife is handling it for me, and it's put a hell of a lot of stress on her to try and find somewhere, and also deal with ACC, who are my funders. And we've got to wait to hear from them before we can make decisions about anything else.
According to Mr McCarran, securing one of the new rooms would cost him $150,000, which he simply can't afford. Another resident, Ken, who also uses a wheelchair, is in a similar boat.
And when I read it, I was shocked. I got on the blower straight away and I started making arrangements, because the new place is not big enough for everybody. So we're going to make our other arrangements. I already have made arrangements. I'm moving to Curry Lodge and Rickerson Road.
So you've found somewhere?
Yeah, I'm moving next Monday.
My visit to the village did not last long. Shortly after I began speaking to residents who were keen to talk, nursing manager Sarah Skinner rushed out and asked me to leave the property. Ken and Jim were happy to follow me and be interviewed on the footpath.
I think the obvious thing would have been for the complete board to have held a meeting where they told us the problems and the possibilities, but that wasn't forthcoming. And I think they've hid behind a lot of things, like when their spokesman came out and said not enough people passed away. They built for what they considered was a death rate that there would be, and there wasn't. So they're now in the pickle along with all of us. And I think for a professional organisation that is bloody disgusting.
Checkpoint spoke to other residents outside the village who say they are extremely disappointed about what's happened and are scrambling to find other accommodation. In the meantime, people like Jim are stuck in limbo, wondering what on earth to do next. In Christchurch for Checkpoint, call Logan Church, Tēnei.
So Checkpoint has approached the village management multiple times today to find out exactly what is going on. Logan Church, the reporter who did that story, telephoned this morning. A staff member promised to pass his details on to the village director, Simon Marks, and he called again late this afternoon, but Mr Marks has not yet responded. So the invitation is still out there. If anyone from the management team wants to give us a call, we'd love to hear from you.